Howdy folks, it's Monty with XS Sights, and today we're going to install one of our new pre-drilled big dot front sights on a Ruger SP101. Come on in, let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. Obviously, we know we're going to need our handgun. In this case, it's a stainless Ruger SP101. Which thing we're going to do, we're going to open that cylinder, we're going to visually and physically inspect it to ensure that we have no cartridges in the cylinder. Go ahead and close that. Today I'm going to do this on the bench, so we're not going to need the vise, and I'm going to need a bench block. Obviously, the new sight, red pin. There's some Loctite in there, but we're going to use a lot, and I've got another install to do, so I'm going to use a bigger tube. We will need a 1/16 roll pin punch. Definitely want a roll pin punch, not a flat punch. We will also need, don't need, but it makes life a lot easier, a 1/16 roll pin starter or holder, depending on your terminology, some form of non-marring punch, and a hem, gun scrubber, or some other form of degreaser. Like I always say, acetone works, gun scrubber, rubbing alcohol, your wife's nail polish remover if you can do that without risking your marriage. We may need a pick, and we may need a file. A lot of that's gonna depend on the handgun that we're working on and what's been done in the past. So first thing we gotta do, as I said, we've inspected to ensure that the handgun is unloaded. Sometimes a third hand on something like this can help. Well, I'm gonna do it by myself, I do believe. This is just a matter of kind of holding everything. We're going to drive out the existing roll pin. And again, device or a third hand can make life a little easier. Original pin is no longer in the gun. No big deal. If you can save it, save it. Just keep your area clean. If not, it's not a huge deal. You're going to get a new one. In this case, the factory front sight removed very easily. Sometimes that can be difficult. What you can do, again, a vise would be handy. If it was being extremely difficult, I could tap it forwards and rearwards using the plastic face of my hammer to get it to move a little bit before it comes out. All right, next thing we want to do, get our new big dot, have you roll pin and have them handy. All right, so this new front sight needs to be a slip fit on the gun. So I'm gonna visually inspect that. I don't see any debris in there because I have a pick handy. I'm gonna go in and just feel it. I'm not putting any pressure, just running it in there to see if I could feel any pre-existing Loctite, dirt, debris, anything like that. There's nothing there. So first thing we want to do after that is we want to check. And as you can see, it's not a slip fit. Oh, no, it is. I just have to get it in the hole correctly. Obviously, I'm not a golfer. All right, since it's a slip fit, we don't need to do anything additional. If it was not a slip fit for whatever reason, then this tab that goes down into the barrel right here would be a little too wide, and we'd have to remove some material. And the easiest way to do that is using a safe edge file. As you can see, I don't have any cutting teeth here. And I would very carefully set my sight down, flush it up. You know, we've got a little ledge on each side. So flush that ledge up with that non-marring or that non-cutting edge. I'd run the sight towards me. I'd flip it 180, and I would repeat that process. And I'd take one pass on each side, very slowly, very carefully, because Miracle-Gro doesn't work on steel, until I got the slip fit that I was looking for. I don't need to do that in this case, so we're ready to degrease everything. We're going to take our gun scrubber, get my Q-tip. I'll start off getting down in that groove. I want to make sure I get every bit of it nice and clean. So for this pre-drilled install, Loctite is required. Absolutely, without a doubt, you need to be using the supplied Loctite, and you need to use copious amounts of it, because we're depending on that Loctite to help hold everything. If you would prefer the mash drill variation, we still offer those. You can still purchase those and have a gunsmith install those. Not a big deal. This just means, this particular installation style means that you can do this at home with minimal tooling, which means you can get your handgun up and running with an improved sight really quickly. We're going to go ahead and get another Q-tip, and we're going to do the same thing with the sight itself. One thing to remember, once we're done, after we get everything cleaned up, this gun scrubber is going to remove every bit of oil. So we want to go back in with a protective coat of oil once we're finished, but we'll show you that when we get there. Again, the biggest part is this tab that's going to go down to the gun. That's where we're really wanting everything clean and degreased so that Loctite can get good adhesion. A little oddballing off topic here, but we get questions about that little hole in the bottom of that tab from time to time on the tech support emails. That's a vent hole. When we install that tritium lamp, we have to have a little bit of room for stuff to go. That's all that is. All right, everything's clean, degreased. That stuff's going to dry nearly instantaneously, so by now the gun is fine, and by the time I get to the front side, it'll be fine too. We're going to go in with a very generous supply, as you can tell, of this Threadlocker into that hole in the gun. I'm also going to make sure and put a drop right there in the hole for the cross pin. I really want to make sure that I have plenty of Loctite in there. Sight simply drops in, as we said. Generous, as you can tell, it squished some out. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to take my original roll pin punch and I'm going to run through the hole in the gun, making sure that I have alignment. I do, and get my new roll pin. Roll pins will compress as you drive them into place to some extent. So anytime we remove a roll pin, we really want to try and put a new one in. When you compress it, you kind of do a little bit of wear to that spring tension that that pin has. All right, here's where that roll pin holder I was mentioning, the roll pin starter, comes in a lot easier. Makes life a lot easier because it will hold that roll pin quite well. Get it started. Makes it easy to get it started. Just don't try and drive it all the way in because you don't want to mar the finish on your handgun. At this point, I like to use a non-marring punch to get me pretty close. This is a plastic punch, so it won't damage the firearm at all. Tap it in pretty close. All right, and that pin is just flush. I need to go just under flush because I want to make sure I get all the way through the sight and into the barrel on both sides. I can come in here, take a look at it, put that on the outside, and I'm about centered. So we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes, maybe 10, and then we're going to come back and clean off all that excessive Loctite. I got to wait for it, but thanks to movie magic, you guys don't. I'll see you in a minute. All right, we are back. I had to go grab a paper towel. There's plenty of Loctite here, and I've got some to clean up besides just on the firearm itself. I'm just going to wipe off the excessive Loctite. And then I'm going to use Q-tips to kind of come in close on that side and make sure I get all of the excessive Loctite off. All right, so there's plenty of Loctite in there. It's going to continue to have some that is going to just push out anytime I bump that sight. We'll let that sit for a little while longer, clean it up, and then tomorrow morning, give it a wipe down using some gun oil just to help prevent corrosion. You definitely want to let this sit at least 24 hours before you shoot it and let that Loctite get a good, hard, full cure. But once you do that, you'll be ready to go.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Also, be sure to be following us on Instagram and Facebook to be up to speed in all the new things that we're doing. If you guys want early access into some of those cool things that we're doing, make sure that you're signed up for our email newsletter. You guys get exclusive discounts, early promos, and like I said, insights to all the new things that we're doing. As an American-made, family-owned company, our mission is to empower the good guy to be more confident, self-reliant, and prepared through functional weapon upgrades. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.